Let's go.
Hello, one and all. So today we have a beautiful
Hello.
guest with us, Miss Rita. Hello, Miss Rita.
Hello. Hello.
We're going to have just a nice little chat and a
Thank you.
conversation together because we felt like what we were talking about yesterday was really powerful and we wanted to create a little more conversation around what's going on in our worlds at the moment. So, Miss Rita, would you like to introduce yourself and tell the world what you're doing?
First, I want to say thank you for having me here
Pleasure.
with you. And yeah, I'm an Italian girl. Yeah. It sounds like important to say
Yeah,
I'm Italian.
yeah, very important.
And yeah, I'm certified coach um, about mindset shifting, and I started working for it and learning about it because of my experience through the online business, because I started working on myself when I started my online business. And through my experience, I got that the most of people need to have mindset shifting because the most of us are thinking about our negative patterns through thoughts, and we need to work on it to shift and turn these kind of patterns into positive one. And I was there because I was stuck in my life. I always thought about to create and to make changes, but I never took action towards my dreams.
Mm,
I always thought to have something for myself that I wanted to create. But yeah, I haven't took action until I met this girl and I started working on my business. But during my journey, I needed to work on myself deeply. And after long work, because I I think I worked on myself for 1 year and a half, very hard, and I'm still doing it. I'm still in the process. And like every time that I learn something new about myself, I'm like mind blowing because oh wow, now I got this.
it
Or
resonates.
is why it is happening this on myself and within myself. And yeah, every time is a mind blowing for me. And I'm glad that I'm at this point because yeah, still working, but still learning and still setting myself in a mind blow.
I love that.
um, yeah, and so I decided to support others through this journey to let them understand that they are going through this process, and first to understand all the indicators for them to realize they are having a negative patterns within their thoughts, and starting there to go forward the life, a more fulfilling life and a more positive life, to change their perspectives and to understand, basically to understand, because in the moment you understand, you become aware of your patterns, and in the moment you are aware, you can do something to change. So we all are seeking for changes, but if you don't know where to start and you don't understand better yourself, you cannot move forward.
Mm.
So yes, create awareness
Yeah, I
and
love
share
that.
all these indicators that I got within myself and within my experience, and
Mm.
share this with others.
Yeah, I think that's a really beautiful explanation, a beautiful portrayal of what you share with the world. And I feel like what I would love to reflect with you now is how, when we choose our spiritual path or we choose our journey of life, it doesn't matter whether you identify as spiritual or you don't. Either way, to me, it's a spiritual experience if we choose it to be. And business is exactly the same, right? We move through the ups and the downs. We allow ourselves to evolve into how and when we, or what box we're we're freeing ourselves from in that now moment. And what I think you do fantastically, having experienced your work and who you are, is you have an innate capacity to allow people to be themselves. And I think as you allow people to express with you and share with you where they are and who they are in a different flavor, you allow them to find their own answers along the way through the structure that you provide. And I think that that's something that's really very needed. I don't feel like we need anyone else telling us who we should be or how to behave and this, that, and the other. So having
Yeah,
someone who is really um, rooted in the uniqueness of each of us and values their own uniqueness, that's a really important factor, I think, that makes you an incredible coach from my perspective, and I'm sure from many others. So thank you
thank
for being here and thank you for sharing that. Um, Maybe we can start with our journey. Like what has that process looked like beforehand? So for example, what did your life look like before you embarked upon this new adventure? And where are you now in relation to ooh, in relation to how you've evolved and what's really changed in your inner world, your outer world? What's the transformation been? Please share with us if you would
you.
like.
Yeah, if I think about myself a few years ago, um, and if I think about myself now, I see lots of changes. Then maybe I haven't even celebrate, because yeah, we usually go for a celebration just when we achieve something bigger.
Yeah,
But actually we need to celebrate every step along the way.
definitely.
um, and yeah, I saw myself, I see myself now totally different than I was a few years ago, totally stuck in my life and in a victim mode, because I was always blamed others. But basically because I haven't trusted myself enough, believed in myself enough
Yeah.
to go for my dreams and to make things happen.
I think a lot of us can relate to that stage of mindset, or we see it a lot in the world. So yeah, certainly understood.
Yeah. And I grew up with this kind of mindset. And yeah, we were talking about to become dancer, and I was there too because I wanted to do this for my life, but I grew up with the mindset that no, you cannot dance for life, but you need to take a degree, you need to take a good job, and you need to get married, have children, and blah blah blah. But actually, I'm not fit in this kind of life. I cannot see myself in this anymore.
Mm,
And yeah, the first thing is my awareness that I don't want certain things anymore.
mm,
I was a people pleaser too, and I'm still recovery because it is a long journey. When you um, say yourself, you need to please others to get accepted and to stay in that kind of environment. But actually, you not because you don't need this. You just need to understand you can accept yourself as you are
mm.
and work toward it.
Exactly. And what
So
story, right? What do we make it mean about ourselves? I think that's another thing
yeah,
that's powerful in what you share with the world is how you help others change their story. Hello, kitty. Change their story around what things are meaning for us. For example,
yeah,
like maybe we have made a decision to please someone, but in essence, we are uh, perhaps avoiding a fact that we don't feel adequate enough to make a decision for who we are and ourselves and what we're making that mean in that moment. That could either be the thing that makes us or the thing that breaks us, depending on the story we're going to attach to that. So I feel like
yeah.
I also just want to asterisk in there that I think that's a really key part of what you're sharing with the world. So yeah, it's a really important part as well. And I love it. And Kitty loves it too. Hey, Kitty.
Yeah. You always wanted to join us.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And yeah, I think, um, yeah, as I said, it is a long process, but I can see, first of all, seeing myself smiling and happier. And if I see myself a few years ago, it wasn't this. I find hard time to just smile about everything around me, about, yeah, nature or listening to birds singing and just, yeah, I feel kind of bored because
Mm,
you are stuck in your mind, you are stuck in your environment. You just go for the things you have to do and not for the things you want to do,
mm, mm,
and embrace the passions you have for the things you love. And yeah, and I was stuck in this life for many years. um, and then I had the opportunity to meet my coach that in she helped me to embrace all of this,
mm,
and I'm grateful for it because it started there, and now I see myself to a different level because I'm really um, accepting the things as they are,
mm,
not blaming others or keep blaming myself, because at
mm.
certain point I became aware, but I also started to blame myself. um
Feel you. Yeah. I
yeah,
think that's
but
something that a lot of us do, even if it's unconscious.
yes, um but then I got that, with that kind of mindset, I cannot do something different that blame others or blame myself, because I was unaware
Mm,
and
mm,
just feeling my ego and going with it all the time. But now, yes, I feel myself different. And yeah, as I said, of course, I'm human, so I still making mistakes and, or, um, yes, try to accept certain things cannot be always easy as it looks, as it can look. Um, but yeah, I see myself in another position, in at another level, not because I don't want to sound presumptuous, but I'm doing the work, the inner work, the shadow work within myself, so you can see the results, but not for others, just for you.
Yeah,
Because
and
yeah,
that's the greatest part, isn't it? You are your greatest case study. You know, you
yeah,
are your best coach, coach, uh, recipient, client, because
yeah,
there is there's so many beautiful things I wanted to touch upon when you were speaking. Like the first part being that that healing process isn't linear, and we can circle back through the same things, and we can have new perspectives, new awarenesses, be taken down paths we might not assume are right for us. Um, but through the awareness that we have, making a choice more consciously. This has happened to me many times in my life now and is still happening, of course, in the sense of, okay, well, I'm at a T junction or I'm at a crossroads and I'm saying, right, I've got paths that I can go down. Perhaps a version of me wants to go that way, a version of me wants to go this way, a version of me wants to go that way. And
yeah,
knowing what we now know about ourselves and what we've grown to experience perhaps a higher clarity of perspective over, we can use that to consciously choose, even if we're making a same choice or we're going in a direction that might not always feel completely the ideal version. There is
yeah,
so much benefit from just having that awareness in and of ourselves that, you know, we are moving in a direction and we are a different person now to who we ever were before. That can never be taken, that can never be changed, regardless of how things evolve or become. We are gifted to have invested in the most valuable asset, which is ourselves. You know, we can't ever have a safer investment. You know, if we're
yeah,
gaining the skills, gaining the wisdom, gaining the knowledge, the connection, the community, the things that are gifting us these um valuable aspects of life enhancing qualities, being able to be present with the nature around us, the nature of ourselves, and not
yeah,
needing to force or change or tell us that we're bad or wrong or this or that, but learning how to work with, as you say beautifully, the mindset of where we are now and how we can evolve the story we're sharing with ourselves and others into something that is practical, that is beautiful, that is art, that is enjoyable, that is a part of our life story, as it were. That's a really important um,
yeah,
aspect of our healing path or of our journey in life. I think I have a bit of resistance to calling it a healing path sometimes because it never ends. We're always going to be evolving
yeah,
our
of course.
evolution. Yeah.
Yeah, as they say, we have to learn all the time. So it is really this way because, yeah, you never stop learning.
Yeah. And we
But
can
it
learn
is
something from
good.
everyone.
It is good because at the end, it can help you, as you said, to be present at
Mhm.
yourself, which is one of the most important thing because we use our mind to stay in the past or in the future, but not enjoying the present moment.
Mm.
And yeah, this is an hard part because you are overthinking all the time. There is
Mhm.
no one who is not overthinking, and it is sometimes hard to understand you are overthinking all the time, and it is sometimes hard to break the cycle for the overthinking. But yeah, we need to work on it because we need to stay present, because if you are present you can be aware and you can really do the work for yourself.
Mm.
Because yeah, we're as we are coach, we talk a lot about being ourselves, loving ourselves, doing the self work. And sometimes people think that you need to be selfish, but it is not to being selfish. It is just being aware and present with yourself, to be present for others too,
Yeah.
to be able to support others too.
Hmm.
But if you don't know about yourself, you will never understand others at all,
Mm-mm.
because at the end, this is a process.
Yeah. I like that. The key word I think for relationships is understanding, isn't it? It's like we don't need to, and maybe we never can fully understand someone. But what I love about you, and I think our connection is really helping me appreciate this deeper, is the curiosity to learn about one another, to learn about our um uh processes, or who we are becoming, and how we can best support one another to move through this journey, right? Because there's so many people in the world who say this is the way you should be, this is what worked for me, this is what will work for you, and that's not really how life works. And it takes away the fun, actually, because part of our uniqueness and our beauty as beings is to allow the other person to evolve and to create a connection that is genuinely meaningful and supportive to that evolution for both parties.
Yeah,
And when we have a coach, for
absolutely.
example, yeah, when we have a coach or a coaching um a safe space, a therapist, or whatever works, there is an element of safety that we don't always get from our relationships. I'm not saying that everyone is a safe person to open up to, but that we get to practice learning what our needs are, learning what we need from ourselves, even, right? If someone that is coaching us or isn't able to coach us in some area of our lives, how are we able to provide that for ourselves or meet that need, or just be aware. There's a lot in
Yeah,
the coaching industry that I do see is people saying, no, they're this, they're that, that coach is this, that coach is that, they're like this, they're like that. And again, just projecting everything to the outside, when all we're here to do is be mirrors for one another. Like, if we can't get that need met, okay, great. Maybe this person is meeting this need. How can I get this need met that I'm wanting? Because clearly that's what I'm needing more of. If that's what I'm projecting onto this other person that they're not doing for me, how can I give that to myself? Either by finding someone outside of myself to allow me to do this process externally and work through things externally, or
yeah,
find that inner narrative within, find that energy within. And I feel like there's a huge opportunity for people in this day and age to really fine tune and master what it is that they want to gift the world from themselves and for the people in their lives, what relationships they want to nurture. Because having a coach in your life, from where I stand or sit, is the most empowering step you can take towards becoming a better you. Not because that person has all the answers, and a good coach will never claim to, but that they have a belief and an energy of belief in you, in who you are, in who what you're becoming, in what you're becoming. And that allows you the space and the energy, the container to nourish parts of yourself into blossoming, into developing confidence, into evolving themselves naturally and beautifully through the process of that person. Right. So each
yeah,
person is going to be
yeah, yeah,
different for different people, and dot, dot, dot. But yeah, like having the power of everything being a spiritual practice, everything is an opportunity to grow, to evolve, to appreciate life more and in a deeper way. And my wish for the world is that we can deepen our appreciation for people in the coaching industry, and people in this world who are choosing to share themselves and be vulnerable with the world around them, because it's a challenge, it's an evolution, it's an
yeah.
expansion. So the bravery that we have as beings to put ourselves in these places, I
It
feel
absolutely is.
definitely worth celebrating. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is. I'm glad you shared this because, yeah, we had the opportunity to meet other coaches and to work with others and to learn at the end from others and uh, not just from each other as we're doing now. But I'm glad you touched this point mm, related to people because everyone has a different story, a different journey, and what works for me cannot work for you, and it is absolutely fine. It is absolutely fine this way. Mm, And I think it is important to understand for others too, for people too, because yeah, as you said, these people have the opportunity to choose, and
Be open,
this
right?
is the most important thing.
Yeah.
They have the opportunity to choose.
And have that belief that if you're there with that person, it's for a reason, right? Like we were attracted into each other's realities for a reason.
Yeah,
The one thing if I could gift the world one wisdom that I have been practicing and cultivating and strengthening, is the ability to trust every single being, situation, place, thing, circumstance has the capacity to give me exactly what I need, has the capacity to change my life if I will it so, has the capacity to gift me a piece of wisdom that could change my world forever. And a lot of the time people get caught in that, oh, I already know that, or I've tried that, or I've done that, or I've done this, and we've forgotten how to open ourselves up to the possibility that life is showing us through this other being or through this coach, through this guitar, through this tree, whatever it is, the capacity to be more loving or to be more open or to understand something about ourselves. Because if we're
yeah,
noticing something in someone else, it's that opportunity to turn it back around and embody that in a different way. Like one thing I've noticed through the coaching journey I've been on as a both a coach and a recipient of coaching, there is this beautiful synergy of evolution between the coach and the client. The two people in any dynamic can evolve together and should evolve together and do evolve together when they are in that right energy, that right mindset, because it's a process of let me learn through you and you learn through me. And I have this tool and capacity that I have cultivated and nurtured, and I have this receptivity to receive what you're giving me, and the two together create the harmony, they create the balance. And if you go on that transformation together, if you have the capacity to be open and honest and vulnerable with that person about,
yeah,
from both sides, uh, there's unlimited possibility. It's like Ramdas says, the yoga of relationship, the yoga of relationship being a deep and beautiful practice that we actually don't even understand in our day and age. I don't feel we've not begun to scratch the surface of the capacity we have as a collective to help each other grow and to nurture one another as we all grow together.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I believe in this,
Mm.
and um, and this is, I think, also, and it is something that I appreciate a lot about you, is which is another key point, the communication, the way we are speaking, the way we are mm, creating the relationship. And the communication is super important because it is not just about how we communicate with others, but the way we communicate with ourselves.
Mhm, mhm,
And
mhm.
yeah, I'm sure that everyone was in the place saying ourselves, himself, how much I'm stupid, or yeah, talking this way.
Yes,
And
Elia.
yeah, yeah. Um, treating others with kindness, but not treating yourself with kindness. And this is a point of communication, the language we use. And
Mm,
this is one of the things that I appreciate a lot about you because, yeah, as I said, it is super important to have this kind of language, this kind of communication, because you open yourself in that way.
mm, mm,
And um, it is the way for you to also to create this exchange you were talking about,
mm.
because yeah, we can learn from each other, but we can do this because yeah, there's the right communication, the right language, and the openness to learn and to
Exactly.
understand and to mm, feel in that way.
Perfect. So beautifully summarized. I couldn't have put it better myself. Thank you. It's true, isn't it though? And I feel like having the curiosity helps with the language because, for example, one person's meaning of a word isn't necessarily the same as another person's meaning for a word, and one person's energy of power isn't another person's energy of power, and they might perceive that to be angry even though that person is passionate. This happens with me a lot. I am a very passionate person, and I'm very expressive, and I'm very involved, and I'm very embodied, and I emote with my whole body, and yes, that is who I am, and I love that about myself because I've I am learning how to evolve the language I'm using to match that feeling. And we all understand now, I feel, to a much greater capacity than we ever have before, the power of our words and the power our words have on not only ourselves but on other people. And if we're not loving ourselves and speaking to ourselves horribly, actually, other people aren't going to believe what we're saying. People
Yeah,
aren't going to believe the love that is coming from you because it's not genuine. It's not coming from a depth. It's coming from a shallow place of this is what I should say. Or it's coming from a split of personality where one side is so loving and so able to give and so able to love, and the other side is actually just feeling so bent and broken and destroyed that they don't have that capacity to love themselves anymore. And how we unify those two aspects is something I'm still evolving. I'm sure a lot of
yeah,
us are still evolving, and there is this practice necessary for each of us to have people in our lives who can support and nourish this part of us who doesn't feel enough, who doesn't feel worthy. We can exercise, we can change our state, we can meditate, we can put all of these things in place. Yes, and we should, and we need to as a society. We need to have those practices and have people around us who are able to speak to this part of us with love as well as us, because while we're still learning, we don't have to be perfect straight away. We can't expect ourselves to be perfect straight away. And
yeah.
what is perfect? Even, like, who's to say that little voice in the head isn't doing exactly what it's designed for? That hateful voice is just trying to do its best. It's keeping us safe, it's keeping us on the straight and narrow, whatever that means.
So very true, so very true. Yeah, as you know, mm, I shared with you uh, about some process that I'm going through, and I thought, yeah, but I should do this and that, and make it this way. It would be better or not. And then I said, okay, who cares? Who cares? Let's go for it, and I will learn on the go. I will
Exactly.
do it better as I'm going, because at the end, but it is something that it is not only the society requiring us. It is also the way we grow up,
Mm.
because I don't know. Yeah, I grew up with the mindset to, yeah, look for others. what they are doing. You need to do better than them. You need to do this if you want to achieve a certain position, a certain job, or a certain level, career. Yeah, we grew up this way. I mean, I grew up this way. And perfection, it is one of my points. But yeah, I decided to not embrace it anymore.
Mm.
Of course, as I said, I'm human, so sometimes I go there. Yeah, it is not looking good. But and it is normal because we are ourselves in every aspect and embrace all the aspect as you said. I want to do this and that, but but because we are full and we need to accept
I like
and
that.
embrace every part of ourselves.
Love that word. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. I love what you're sharing, and I'm really grateful that we've had the opportunity here to kind of chat and expand our love with the world, expand
Yeah,
the magic that we're getting to create together through our exchange, and um, learning how we can be a support to each other's evolution and thus the evolution of everyone we love. So thank you so much for sharing with us, and I'd love for you if you could share with us
thank
a
you.
little about what you're bringing into the world at the moment, your podcast and your course,
Yeah,
and how can we get a hold of you if we want to know more? I can link the Instagram and Facebook
yeah,
below.
yeah.
So just yeah, tell us a little bit to close
Thank you
with
so
what you're up
much.
to. Yeah.
Now, sorry, didn't get.
No, I just said pleasure. Please.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this exchange, this opportunity, um, the opportunity to share, to being a part of your journey, and for having me here now in this specific moment.
Pleasure. Deep
There,
pleasure.
I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
Oh, well,
Thank you
I'm
so
really
much.
grateful you're here.
Thank you.
Yeah. And tell us about your podcast and your course.
Yeah, so my podcast is called Mindset Blooming, because yeah, I decided to for this name because I really want to, as you said, mm, to not tell people you have to do this or that, but sharing, as I said, indicators
Mm.
and tips for people to understand better about themselves, and also some exercises to start learning and practice a bit about um, to learn about themselves and to embrace um, a mindset shifting. Um, because yeah, as I said at the beginning, we need to we need to do this for ourselves. And I um, this journey, it will be 2 episodes per week, and the first one is mm, just out, and I decided to share something about myself, and I will share also about successful stories for people, yes, to understand what does it mean to have a positive living, or to emphasize this kind of living. Um, it is like a kind of holistic approach for unlock the potential that people have within themselves. And and the curse, instead, the curse is really a path, a journey with 36 lessons to really understand what does it mean having a negative patterns and to turn it into a positive one.
Love that.
So it sounds very long, but
These things
basically
are
it is
necessary.
everything that I've learned and that I want to share with others to understand what they can do for themselves.
Beautiful.
Because, yeah, as we said, we don't need to be like you have to do this or that. You can do this or that for yourself, but you need to take the decision to embrace it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we can give the opportunity, um, mm, and we can share everything we know um, about. And yeah, just giving people the opportunity to embrace their personal development, their mindset shifting, to learn and to then embrace their passions and living a balanced life with their emotions, yeah, with their mindset to decide for themselves.
Gorgeous. Thank you so much for sharing that wisdom with us, for sharing your frequency, your energy,
Thank you,
and
thank you,
planting these
thank you so much.
seeds of magic for the world and for
Yeah.
yourself. So, yeah, with that being said, let's just take a moment to close our eyes, to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, down into the body, connecting, aligning, releasing all that no longer serves, allowing us to move forward from this space with clarity and love. All unfolds in the perfect way. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Miss Rita, for being the beautiful gem that you are. And I look forward to speaking with you very soon. Thank you, guys. Have a beautiful and magical day.